Hi everyone. This is a continuation post of something I had posted many months back. And during the time when I posted that one, and now again when I'm starting to again repost certain things, there was a gap because I went through an intense dark night of the soul experience. And because of the dark night of the soul experience, I was physically a little bit sicker, and mentally also a lot of dark thoughts came my way. I think it is part of the ascension process that everyone will go through certain kind of beliefs and perceptions that will surface up in their mind, or the universe might start sending such thoughts your way because you can vibrationally be in such a low point in life that you could start matching to such vibrations. And because of matching with such vibrations, one can end up having like intense set of darker set of experiences in their life. And it's also a part of the ascension journey. And what I realized from the dark times that was happening, there was a time also when COVID also started happening in sorry universe gives me messages via certain physical symptoms sometimes. So suddenly, the message came that I have to talk about COVID, and that's why my nasal passage started getting irritated. So with COVID, what happened is everyone got under strict lockdown in the place where I was staying, and lots of other darker experiences happened because the society in which I was living at that point of time, I was staying with my dad and my brother, and the government society that they lived, being government employee or former government employees, these people are even more in some ways in darkness than many other maybe higher economic strata people or lower economic strata people. And the reason being, while people who go and get government jobs are usually from lower income group, after they have got their government jobs, many are not very thankful for the jobs that they have. They end up feeling some kind of, there is in India, definitely we do have corruption, we do have favoritism and nepotism. All these things definitely play a role in someone succeeding in their professional life in India. But despite these circumstances happening, India is also a country where lots of businesses also flourish. People can be entrepreneurial, and despite whatever background you have, despite whatever level of income you had when you were growing up, people do have an opportunity in this country to open their own business or pursue business opportunities or become successful in anything they wish to do in their life. So this choice that and is not just something specific to India, it's specific to every country of the world. Any human being can succeed in any country of the world depending on the level of success they wish to have in their life, depending on the level of mindset and vibrations that you keep in your life in order to be successful. One can consider themselves successful even if they are living in the forest and doing nothing, like if they become like Valmiki, or if they become like Osho and just start preaching to others. One can be successful, and it doesn't matter. Nowadays people can even be successful on YouTube, right? We have so many YouTubers who have, or Instagram influencers, they are famous because they are doing what they love to do. They are trying to help people in some ways, and while they are enjoying their life or doing something that they love to do, some of them have also started generating income out of it. Why? Because they set that intention, they set that request to the universe, and it is not that they made one post or two posts and then they became instantly famous. They had to post at least 100 videos or even more sometimes, depending on what was their soul journey that they had decided to learn from before they got born in this earth. Depending on every one of us, Actually, if you aren't clear about this concept, I would love to talk about this concept about our life paths. Each soul, when it is born on earth, before being born, God gives us free will to choose our life path. Like, are you going to be born in a poor family? Are you going to be born in a rich family? Do you want to become rich after being poor? Do you want to become poor after being rich? Do you want to experience ups and downs in life? Do you want to understand love? What do you want to understand? Everyone comes to earth to understand something about their soul journey, and every soul, like consciousness as it's growing, sometimes consciousness, I think this is what I have understood from all the research and studies that I have been doing the last few years. From that, what I am understanding about a soul's journey is that we do get free will from God and universal consciousness to decide what kind of a journey and life path we will experience when we are born on this earth. And every time we are born on earth, some souls will reincarnate in different eras. So in the time, like in right now in 2020, whichever soul is alive on earth, we all had decided to go through this COVID process. We had all decided to go and learn in our life something about living, something about soul, something about life and death. That's why we were all born during the COVID era. And also because earth, as many of you might know, is going through something called ascension. What is ascension? Ascension is earth is going through a shift from 3D reality to 5D reality. But while it is going through this shift, I still don't understand everything, all the details about 5D reality, because I may not have actually experienced it completely in my life, or maybe never. I don't know yet, because I have had a lot of bizarre and mystical experiences. But I do know, because of the information that gets sent my way from the universe, I do know that there are people who have experienced 5D reality. I do know people who are trying to shift into 5D reality. I don't know them personally, but I do know them via the videos they post, via the information they post. So there are even other life forms from other planets who are trying to get in touch with humans right now, so that they can teach humans about a different way of living. And why is it necessary that humans learn a different way of living? Is because right now this COVID is happening because of the way in which humans are living and leading their lives. All of us are really not living a very physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually fit life. Every one of us has some aspect of our living that we have got wrong. We got it wrong because of the way in which society is slowly turned and started valuing only certain aspects of living. Like people have only started valuing either just money, or people have just started valuing only human body as a physical form, like for sex. But people have forgotten the deeper aspects of love. Some people, I'm not saying everyone has forgotten, I'm not saying every soul has decided to forget about it completely, but what has happened is there are some souls who have decided to go in deep darkness, and there are some souls who have not decided to go in deep darkness, but they have decided to experience some darkness. And because of that specific reason, because we wanted to awaken towards light, because we wanted to experience certain experiences which would make us go into deeper darkness. Like people would experience depression, people would experience deep anxieties, people would experience bipolar disorders, other personality disorders, or people would experience life's ups and downs and socio-economic problems, or people would experience, these are all the different kinds of things that people thought they have to experience before awakening. Because if you don't experience these things that I'm talking about, and these are just the examples of things I think I have experienced, and maybe my soul had decided to experience this, and these are some of the things that I have seen Indian society experience, I have seen American society experience, because I used to work and live in US, and I studied in US. I lived there for 13 years. So 13 years of my adult life experiences were in US. and only about and now right now about 12, 13 years of adult experiences in Indian life has also happened for me. And of course I am over 40 years of age, so before going to US also for 22 years of life I was in India only. So I experienced a lot of my lifetime was spent in India. That's why I keep talking about the Indian culture. And a lot of my lifetime was also in US, especially my formative adult years were in US. So I will keep talking about both US and India because that is part of my life experience as a soul that I decided to experience. And the reason why I wanted to experience life in two different countries is so that I can become the person who can merge these two experiences into a newer way of living. Both countries do some things very beautifully. Both countries do things that are not good for progression of Earth. And because for the next level of Earth's evolution, and because it is not good for Earth's evolution, Earth's ascension, and along with Earth, every human being on Earth is also ascending. The things that are not good and not sustainable, not practical, not logical, are harmful for many planetary forms, are harmful for the progress of a soul's journey. These are the things some people who are called as light workers or way showers or guides, these are the people who have decided to be born on earth to give the guidance and give the show the paths towards a life path that may not be very much we can't envision that life path possibly because we haven't experienced it. But just because we haven't experienced it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Even in religions, if we look at different religions, they do talk about heaven and hell. Why do religions talk about heaven and hell? Is because to give the concept of many religious teachings, they were also these people who were trying to awaken humanity slowly. And because it was going to take thousands of years to awaken humanity, that's why different teachers were born in different eras of life in different parts of the world so that they could slowly awaken different human beings from different parts of the world. And that doesn't mean that whatever teachings these different religions were trying to achieve were just the only way of reaching the divine path. They were just one means. And that's why right now people talk a lot about spirituality, people talk about ascension, people talk about awakening, because this is another new path that is emerging for people to take if they are willing to take this challenge, if they are willing to explore life that is different from what their parents might have experienced, what their counterparts in their friends groups, in their colleagues, in their society are experiencing. Everyone has decided some way or form in which they will awaken. And the places where you find yourself a little bit different from the norm of your society is the place where you have decided to find the niche or find the path through which you will awaken and through which you can do something different in the world for the future of the world. And you don't necessarily have to do everything different from everyone. That is just someone's personal, some soul's personal journey. Every soul has decided to do certain things. So even within the constrictions of the society in which you live, even within the societal paradigm that you chose to be born in, using that paradigm also someone can awaken. But then that is their journey, because some people are choosing to awaken using the societal paradigm, using the societal framework, using the framework that was already existing, and there is nothing wrong with using that framework that is already existing. But every time a societal framework was made, there was something that was also probably at that point when of time when it was made, it was all great for that timeline to have that kind of a societal paradigm to exist. But for the modern paradigm, maybe some changes need to be made. That's why if you see religions also evolve, if you look at I am not a religious person per se, but whenever I will talk in these talks about religion, I would like to address certain things about different religions, not because I am a religious discourser or a theologian, but because I want to draw those people in into my YouTube channel who are questioning their religious thoughts a little bit. Because I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with any religion of the world, but the humans who teach and preach about those religions are always operating from the level of understanding they are operating in. So, suppose you are a Christian and you are being taught by your Christian priests or bishops or whoever else that you follow, because Christianity also has so many different versions, right? There are Syrian Christian in India, especially the ones and types that I remember. Syrian Christians are there. There are Christians from different even states of India who practice Christianity in a different way. Then there is Episcopalians Christians, there are Catholic Christians. So there are different forms of Christianity in India. Even in US also, I experienced the LDS, Latter Day Saints of a version of Christianity, and I experienced, meaning I went one time there. I did have a couple of friends who were Mormons, but they also practice a different variation of Christianity. And I love the Christian religion for some reason, even though I'm not born a Christian, but I love Christ's teachings. I not only just love Christ's teachings, I love like hearing the stories from the Bible, be it from the Old Testament, be it from the New Testament, because I am a person who loves stories. So, any religion, the kind of stories that are present in different religions of the world, behind those stories, I always feel there is a deeper life lesson existing. And this is what I love about different religions. They can teach you paths to lead life in a good way, or in an honorable way, or in a way that is aligned to your soul. But sometimes what happens is different religions become very strict about how they have to pursue that religion. They become very orthodox. Like I do know, I am a Hindu, and I do know some people who are into Hindu related organizations who have a very difficult time, with the Muslim religion. And why? Because the Muslim religion allows multiple wives, which the Hindu religion doesn't allow currently. None of the other religions are allowed multiple wives except Muslim religion. So there are men who might not, men and women maybe, who might be unhappy with this fact that only one religion has this law of multiple wives. Why isn't it applicable to everyone? Or that the Muslim religion allows the women to from other religions to come and join their religion, but they don't allow the men from other religions to marry Muslim women, or some belief like that has come up. But I don't believe that that is true, because if you look at I don't know that it is necessarily absolute truth about the Muslim religion, because I'm not Muslim. So I don't know the Muslims in the world who might allow their Muslim daughter to go and marry someone from a non-Muslim religion. There might be some parents who are open enough to allow that for their daughters. So all I'm saying is, even though religion may have arisen in a particular country to have a particular way of life shape up in that country or culture or part of the world, but that doesn't mean that every Muslim in the world acts in the same way. So you cannot necessarily start blaming a particular religion for the way it's functioning just because of certain darker aspects of that religion manifesting in certain parts of the world. Same way in Utah also, I know that polygamy is allowed in certain parts of Utah. It's a legal thing according to what I learned. And there was this, I love watching TV shows as well. So I will sometimes mention TV shows in my posts as well. So there was a show there that was talking about this multiple wives system. And while initially growing up in India, I had a belief that people shouldn't have multiple spouses. When I did watch that show, I only watched like 2, 3 episodes of that show. But when I did watch that show, I did feel that there was a reason why that kind of a system can exist in the world. Now, look at the modern world. In the modern world, people are a little bit more open about their sexuality. So, there could be people who could be bisexual, there could be people who could be asexual, there could be people who are maybe sexual but they are demisexuals. I identify myself as a demisexual, that unless I form a very deep bond with someone, I cannot have a sexual relationship with them. I actually, for the 13 years of life that I led in US, I had boyfriends and everything. I had relationships, but I couldn't bring myself to have sexual intercourse with them, even though we did have sexual interactions. But I could not bring myself to have that last step of the process because I couldn't find the relationships with them secure enough. I couldn't trust them enough to trust them with my body, the way they were living life with me. And I will talk about those experiences as well sometimes. But the way in which the life was shaping up with them, I just couldn't, see myself getting merged with them in a manner in which I would feel comfortable having sex with them. Same thing happened even with my marriage. I was married too, and actually speaking, technically, that marriage should be annulled. I didn't get annulled, but because I didn't want to pursue all those things. But even in that relationship, I didn't have intercourse with my spouse, because with my spouse, it was even worse than what I experienced with my boyfriends. With those boyfriends, they at least loved me in some manner. They might not have been the perfect kind of love that I was wanting in my life. I wanted a mind, body, soul, spirit connection with someone. And with the boyfriends, at least some aspects of those connections were available. But with my ex-husband, I didn't feel any of those connections were available. And only like, it was like, people talk about illusions of the world. So before getting married, I felt that this ex-husband showed me an illusion of love. And I also believed in an illusion of love, which didn't exist. As soon as I got married, I realized that it was an illusion. Within like a day or two or a month or two, everything slowly started falling apart, because I realized all the illusions that relationship was bringing in my life. And I didn't wish for having that kind of a meaningless relationship. I was always firm with people who I loved deeply, who loved me deeply. If I wasn't able to, form a deep, meaningful connection to sustain and live with them for long term, I couldn't see myself, and with them at least, 70%, 60% connection potential was there. And here I was married to someone who just showed an illusion of a connection potential. But when actually, we started living and trying to merge our lives together, it was not possible. He was living in a different state, I was living in a different state. And to me, a marriage should be about people discussing how they should try to, merge their lives together. But to this guy who was born and brought up in a typical Indian system, I was also brought up in a conservative family only. But I developed my own thought processes about relationships for some reason. I don't know how that happened, but somehow, or I do know partly how that happened, but I don't know why I am so different from my family in that way. But I have never wanted to be in relationships that are uncomfortable. I do tend to, if there's a lot of conflict in relationships, I don't stick around in those conflicting zones, so that because I did grow up in a family where there was some conflict present in the family. When I was there in my teen years onwards, a lot of conflict was there in my family for at least 8-10 years of my life. And those 8-10 years of my life where I saw a lot of conflict between my parents, that shaped me into formulating certain pathways that I've envisioned and wished for in my life and in the future of my life. And because of that reason, I decided on certain criteria that and certain boundaries that my relationships should be defined with. And if those boundaries and criterias are not getting matched, then I was ready to be alone. And that is why only probably part of my Ascension journey path has been to experience how to be alone, how to be independent, how to go through loneliness, how to go through depression. These are the kind of relationship struggles, functional struggles, living in a different society than where you were born. And right now I'm living in a different society than what my adult life has been used to. So the last 7 years of my life has also been equally challenging in experiencing the Indian lifestyle. So overall, I think there was a reason why I decided to do this, and the reasons are slowly unfolding for me as I progress more in my life journey. But because of the reason why I chose a certain way of learning and a certain way of awakening, there has been struggles in my life. There has been challenges that weren't easy to navigate for me, but the challenges were why they weren't easy. I will talk about that also in my next videos. But what I want everyone to learn from this particular video is this, that COVID is also a set of challenge like any other life challenge. And if people will try to start looking deeply inside of themselves as to why COVID is showing up certain challenges in their life, and what is that challenge trying to awaken in their life or lifestyle choice or lifestyle path, if people start self-reflecting on that, that will help them in understanding why COVID is continuing in the society in which they live. Because every society, every culture, every state of India, every country of the world, every section of a particular city, they all have their own set of reasons for COVID existing in that part of the world. COVID is not just about a viral infection. If you look deeply inside, there is a concomitant health factor that is playing a role. I was a pharmacist, I was also a healthcare administrator, and as far as I can understand from all the spiritual teachings and from all my awakening lessons, I have found out different reasons for why COVID is existing in different parts of the world. If anyone wants to learn more about it, please comment and like this video and let me know. I will keep posting as I get guided by the universe to keep posting on all the insights that I have gathered based on the kind of lifestyle that I have led in different countries and different cultures, and have also led life in different socioeconomic statuses. And because of that, I can understand the pain of people living in a different or certain kind of socioeconomic status, and I can probably help guide people into what next measures they should take while COVID or some life challenge is happening to them. So if you want my help, also drop an email to me and maybe we can discuss a way of helping you. I'm trying to start either a barter system of helping each other, or trying to start free system of helping each other. I don't know where I will go right now. Even though I lived in US and I had earned a lot of money, I am having some financial issues, but I am still, look at me, I don't look like as if I'm having financial issues, or maybe I can look like someone who's having financial issues. I don't know, but I'm not unhappy about the financial issues, because I know universe always protects us, universe always takes care of us. This is what I have learned, And I do know I have access to funds. I have some family whom I can ask for help a little bit about certain financial things occasionally. So I am not worried about the banking issues that I'm facing. And I have been facing banking issues actually for 2+ years. Ever since COVID started, I have been facing banking issues. And I know why I have been facing it. I know that I'm supposed to help people, those who are in a lower socioeconomic status. For them, I am definitely doing all these free videos so that you can gain something from these free videos. And those who are independently oriented like me, even them, I hope that you will get from my videos certain insights that can help you create a life path for yourself. But those who do need help, those who do have some kind of thing they can exchange, either monetary exchange or a barter system like exchange with me, let's do that and let's create a new way of living. I'm going to share my email address where you can contact me, and then let's see where we can go. And I also do want to create either a Facebook group, Instagram group, depending on how many people want to connect with me and how many people want to discuss these different kinds and styles of living and ways of living with me. Depending on that and depending on different things, because I can talk about healthcare, I can talk about COVID, I can talk about spirituality, I can talk about twin flame relationships, I can talk about ascension and awakening. So there are these 6, and I can also talk about business management because I have a business management degree as well. I can talk about operational management and business strategies for those people who are suffering right now in their business, who are suffering in their life, who are suffering some lifestyle challenge. I can talk about relationship issues as well. So these are my key areas and fortes of life where I have managed to overcome certain things in my life. The financial thing is the only one I am not trying to focus on overcoming, because I know I have money in the bank. I know I will have access to that money when I need it. And also because I think the world is going to slowly start shifting into a different way of living life, partly based on what is going to happen with COVID. So, because of that reason, or because of what COVID is unfolding in people's lives, everyone will have to come up with a different set of paradigm than what they had gone through in their lives in the past. And part of the awakening process is understanding that money, karma, and any other karma that any of us develop in our life, they all play a role in us shattering through certain ways of living and progressing in life into a different way of living, because that's what 5D Ascension is about. So drop me an email or drop me a comment here if you don't want to email right now, and let's see where we can go with my post. Take care. Bye.